Imagine the place, Lithuania, the time, World War II. You are leaving your home, taking only what is absolutely necessary to survive, not knowing whether you will ever return. The recently published book, The Last Golden Smile, takes you there, where you will witness an incredible journey of peril, pain, and perseverance. With us in our studio today is its author, Karasa. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm very eager. I've read a little bit about your book, haven't had a chance to actually read it myself, but I'm intrigued by it. You know, there are so many books about World War II, but how does this book offer a new perspective? Does it? And if so, again, how does it do that?
Well, to your point, there are many books about World War II, and there are many more books even about the Nazi crimes against humanity and about the Holocaust. But there are so very, very few books written about the horrors that were implemented by Soviet Russia. And these were not only during the war years, this continued long after the war ended. Mm-hmm. And this was the anomaly in publishing that really gave me reason to write this book.
Okay, all right. So I on the back cover, it says that you left everything behind except what you could carry. And so I've got to ask you some questions. How old were you at the time? Did you really, I get a sense that from this, did you walk? Mm-hmm. I mean, this was wartime. You must have seen some horrendous things.
Well,
a lot of questions there. Let's start with, how old were you at the time?
Well, I was 12 years old when the war ended, mm-hmm. you know, but that's not where the story in my book ends. That's actually almost the beginning. You know, maybe I was 8 or 9 years old when the war broke out and we actually moved. Mm-hmm. But we were city folks, and very, very few people had automobiles. And even if we had them, it would have been pointless. They would have been useless because trying to get gasoline during the war was almost impossible. But we were very lucky. We had friends who were farmers, and they provided us with a wagon and a horse. So we packed several trunks. And of course, over the course of the war, we lost everything. Oh. And then we did walk. But up until that time, having a horse was very important. It was that was a godsend.
It was.
Because as we moved across Europe, we found that many of the farms had no one to tend the fields and no one to bring in the harvest, and nobody had horses because they were requisitioned by the retreating German army.
I see.
And all the men were in POW camps or in hospitals by then. So we traded labor for food. And the children worked alongside the adults, and this went on for maybe about 4 years.
Really? Now, through all of this, did you actually see fighting?
Yes, we did. Although we had no knowledge of Pearl Harbor or America's entry into the war, mm-hmm. and to our minds, the war was fought between Hitler and Stalin in Europe. And when we were moving across Europe, there was this gap between the forces. The Germans here and the Russians here, and they were pushing each other back. Our objective was to stay right in that gap. Mm-hmm. That way we would not fall into the hands of either one. Right. And this was an incredible feat of intelligence gathering and planning on the part of my father. I still marvel to this day how he managed that. It was incredible.
I do too. Well, it makes me eager to read the book and find out. Now, we have just a little time left. This is your 5th book.
Yes.
So I know you've done a lot of writing. You've written for magazines, for the Chesapeake Bay. You've written fiction for other books about motorsports, mm-hmm. all kinds of things. What first prompted you to start writing in the first place?
Language. Lithuanian is obviously my native language. Mm-hmm. So to learn any language, I thought writing was a really good way to do it, and it was. Mm-hmm. And then to my total surprise, I found out that I really enjoyed writing. So consequently, one thing led to another, and I started publishing my work.
Okay, well, we want to put up some information that people can get then to see how they can get their own copy of your book. I know that you have a website, correct? Mm-hmm. I'm going to put that up. Right there it is, right. www.alsbooks.com. Also a telephone number that they can call.
Yeah, the telephone number is directly to the publisher, and the books can be ordered there as well. Mm-hmm. And they should be available in bookstores very soon. Right now, the book is so new that it's probably not on a shelf. You'd have to order it.
All right.
But it'll be available everywhere the books are available.
All right. And if I had time, I would have asked you, of the 5 books you've written, do you have a favorite? Maybe that's like asking if you have a favorite child. But you did tell me before coming on air that this is what you consider your first really serious book. And there's more to come, I hope.
The favorite book is always the last one.
Okay. Well, Al Karasa, congratulations, author, and best
you very
wishes
much.
for future success. Thanks.
Thank you.